Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into the channel once again. Andrew the Collector here, and I'm going to be talking about the update for all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Top decks that are currently running around right now. And this is going to be post Banlist. As some of you probably know, every now and then I do 3 videos, top 5 meta, top 5 rogue, and top 5 budget decks for the upcoming format, and I did it for post crossover breakers. And as all of you know, right after those videos got released, a ban list instantly dropped, and most of the picks on some of those lists aged like milk. So I'm here to just kind of do a whole refresher and talk about all the different decks that are currently running around and see where they fit post ban list. So we got tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, which is what I consider rogue, casual, and go play Edison format instead. I came across this list when I was just skulking around the internet, and I decided, why not, let's just go for it. So we're just going to leap right into here. So the first one is going to be Centurion. Centurion, let's see. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is Centurion. Centurion, I'm going to put at a comfortable rogue level. While this deck is really good when it gets going, compared to some of the other ones on this list, it's kind of mid at best. Right now, Crimson Dragon is the thing that is keeping this deck's head above water. Without that, this deck pretty much falls apart. So if they are able to get around that, then that's how it is. Ryzeal. I guess this is considered pure Ryzeal because we have other options down here. I'm putting that at the very top of tier 1. But I'll explain that when we go into it. So, I'm just going to explain it now. Tier 0, obviously, is going to be the Ryzeal Fiend Smith version because at YCS Anaheim, this is the version of the deck that was running everywhere. And it's the one that took, first place. So hands down, tier 0 is going to be the Fiend Smith Ryzeal build that you'll see around. Next is Mermail. Mermail, going to put it in tier 2 rogue category. The thing about Mermail is that if this kind of like Centurion, when this deck gets going, it gets going really good, and it has the ability to snipe out cards from your opponent's hand, which is probably one of its best plays. But you can run different versions of this deck. You can run it with the Sharks, you can run it just per Mermail or Mermail Atlanteans. There's a bunch of different things that you can do, and in the last main set, it got new support, so really good. Same thing with Mementos. I'm going to put Mementos above Mermail. I'm going to put it at the top of Rogue for now. Because like these other two, this deck has so much gas to it. And the thing that Mementos have above all other decks is that it's almost hand trap proof. While it has, like I explained in my video, while it has a singular road that it can go down, when a roadblock hits it, it can branch off into another one. There's no one card that can literally stop this deck's entire play. Like Droll Lockbird or D-Shifter, while it does hurt them, it still has many, many other paths that it can take. The only true way to stop this deck's pace is to stop it right at the beginning. As an Ash or an Imperm or something to just halt their plays, or at least significantly, deteriorate it. Voiceless Voice, bottom of Rogue deck. This deck almost disappeared off the face of the earth. I have not seen this deck being played at my locals or even online. Even though it has a pretty good gameplay and a lot of ritual support, it's nowhere to be found. I haven't seen this deck in weeks, and I'm more happy for that because I don't like the deck, so it can do whatever. Snake Eyes. If we're talking pure Snake Eyes, it's going right at the bottom of tier 2. Because with the banning of its spell card that summons directly from the deck, this deck got hinged very hard. So if we're talking pure Snake Eyes, this is where it's going to go. But with the banning of that card, because it was kind of the branch to like Fire Kings and Rescue Ace and all those other decks that, utilize level 1 fire monsters. So yeah, bottom of tier 2, How the Mighty Have Fallen. Tenpei. Oh, this hurts so much, but I'm putting it at the I'm going to put it below Mementos. I ran this deck when it was before the ban list at the YCS Anaheim, and I was just absolutely having a blast with it. But for some reason, I dare say it got lynched even more than Snake Eyes, because it has 3 ban cards now, 2 of which, Chandra and Cayman, were the things that kept it in play. But with those limits, it got shafted so hard. I'm actually going to put it below Centurion. I've been trying to utilize the deck online still, trying to salvage it in some way. But the thing is that, sure, you can run going second cards all day, the Ultimate Slayers, Regekis, Forbidden Droplets, but if you don't see any of your dragons, then you don't really have you don't have much at all. You break their board, but you don't have any follow-up plays. That's where the deck got hurt the most. And apparently a lot of people despise this deck even more than they despise Ryzeals or even Snake Eyes. So I guess Konami is favoring combo decks right now. Go figure. Millennium. Right in the middle here. Actually, I'm going to put it right below Mementos, because this deck does have a lot of utilities, and you know what? I take it back. It's going to be at the top of Rogue, because even though that its representation isn't doing that well, the deck itself, it's still at full power. It still has an incredible strategy, and it is able to utilize Secret Village of the Spellcasters, which is massive. So, yeah. I'm going to here right now, top of Rogue, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's go to Ritual Beast. Casual. This deck isn't doing anything even with the new support. But yeah, I'm feeling comfortable. Same thing with this. Same thing with Mana Diems. I haven't seen a Mana Diem deck in months. So yeah, Exceeds are Synchros are making the way for Exceeds with Ryzeals. So yeah, I think this is a good place. Labyrinth, I am putting in tier 1. It's in a very, very good spot right now. Not a lot of people know this, but this deck it's at full power, and it has so much utility, especially if they go first. Because being able to rip out cards from your opponent's hand, even if it's just one, during turn 1 is massive. That's why Atlanteans and Mermails are so good. But the thing is that the timing of a lot of their cards is so key. But the thing is that you need a good pilot in order to utilize this deck to its fullest, because if you miss one single step, the whole strategy falls apart. But for what it is, yeah, Labyrinth is in a really good spot right now. Kashtira. If we're talking pure Kashtira, I'm comfortable putting it in tier 2. It's still really good. Their boss monster is still banned, but the deck still has a lot of potential, especially with rank 7s. And who knows, with the new Dragon Ruler cards coming out, this deck may see a massive resurgence if people decide to go that way. Tier Elements. Tier 2, I saw a few of them at YCS Anaheim, but like the same thing with Labyrinth, it needs a really good pilot in order for it to be good. Malice, right in the middle of tier 1. More so with representation. Ryzeals are definitely like twice, if not 3 times more represented in the current gameplay right now, especially with how popular they are. And Malice, while it is a really good deck, it just falls short of Ryzeal slightly, but it's definitely a tier 1 contender. Fire Kings. Pure Fire Kings are going in casual. Deck is still good. It's very cheap, but yeah, I'm fine with putting it there. Chimera. If we're talking the branded Chimera, I think that it's good. Yeah, I think putting it in Rogue here is relatively decent. It just depends on the build. If you're going first, then great. If you're going second, the deck kind of does struggle a little bit. But yeah, tier 2. Same thing with my birds. Tier 2. There's a lot of Tier 2 decks in this one because the top 3 have just eclipsed them. Rescue Ace. Tier 2, big surprise. Fiend Smith Kashtira. Pretty much anything Fiend Smith is going to shoot a deck up to such incredible heights. But, yeah, Tier 1. Just for the fact that it has Fiend Smith in it. Same thing with Magical Musketeer Fiend Smith, but it's going to be at the bottom of Tier 1. These two are more like Tier 1.5, I guess you should say, because it really depends, because Ryzeal Fiend Smith outclasses both of them by a mile. I doubt we're even going to be seeing any of these versions, but if they do exist, then they are going to be out there. Yugioh, sorry Yugioh, but you kind of fell by the wayside. I'm putting you at the second place for Tier 2. I think that's a comfortable place. Hitting Phantom of Yugioh, it was the right call. They should have done it the last list, but I guess they wanted to keep selling copies for people who want to play Yugioh, but I digress. And finally, White Forest Asmania. This one is a very, very particular case, but I'm going to put that in Tier 1, like at the bottom of Tier 1. As a matter of fact, bottom of Tier 1 I think is a really good spot for it, because while this deck does have a lot of utility to it, it also didn't get hit on the list in any shape or form. And a lot of people underestimate the synchro turboness of White Forest along with the Asmania build. So if you don't watch out for this deck, then it's definitely going to hurt you. But yeah, I think that this is a very good, comfortable placement for all of these. Tier 2 Rogue is, it's massive, but a few of these decks have potential in it. But going into the next format, I definitely think that Ryzeal and Malice and even Labyrinth, if people catch on to it, are definitely going to be the main contenders of the format, especially Ryzeal Fiend Smith. That deck is absolutely nuts. And it's another thing that really irks me is that they're only using the Fiend Smith engine in that version to get to DDD King Caesar for 2 more summon interruptions. It's absolutely insane. So it's just going to be a lot of back and forth with that, I think. So, we'll just have to wait and see. I think the next big thing that's coming out will be the Blue Eyes Structure deck that's coming out mid-February. And that does have the potential to, shake up the format depending on what build you decide to go with. But yeah, guys, just want to do a really quick update for the top decks of the format. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.